Welcome, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. We are very excited today to be presenting the new version of Kashoo. We're going to go through just kind of a quick overview of things that have been updated and changed and what some of the thinking was behind those changes. But then really quickly, we're going to get into a product demo. And throughout the session, there is a questions capability on GoToWebinar, so feel free to type your questions in there at any point in time. We'll be monitoring those and we'll try and answer them as we go along, or if it's more appropriate, wait until the end. But we definitely want to hear your questions and any feedback you've got about that, so feel free to use that questions box on GoToWebinar. So today you've got myself, Jim Secord, along with Donna and Tam, who are going to be going through the webinar. I'm going to give you a quick introduction to Kashoo 2.0, and then Donna's going to be giving you a demo of it, showing everyone how to set up a new business and some of the new capabilities. And Tam's going to be in the background answering questions. So again, feel free to fire those our way throughout the presentation. So first off, let's just take a really quick overview of visually what's changed in Kashoo. So if you're familiar with the current version of Kashoo, and you take a look at this screen, you can see, wow, there's tons of stuff that is different. Probably the first thing you notice, new visual dashboard, so you can see things like monthly net income, cash flow, balances in accounts, all sorts of fun stuff like that up along the top, all of your connected accounts. And we're going to get into a lot of this in detail as we go through the business, but we're really excited about the refreshed look and feel and simplicity of Kashoo 2.0. Now, the biggest thing that's changed is that we really went back over the years of feedback and suggestions we had from existing Kashoo users and tried to incorporate a lot of those into Kashoo 2.0. And in addition to making changes to some of the features and workflow, we also built it on a foundation of machine learning to automate really most of the bookkeeping. So you'll see that as transactions are imported into Kashoo, the Kashoo will automatically do things like categorize them, extract sales tax out of them, really do a lot of the basic bookkeeping work that you might have to do. So our goal was really to automate about 80% of the work you do. So you could really just connect your credit card accounts, your bank accounts, your merchant account, and Kashoo would then just basically go and do all the bookkeeping work for you and really only ask you when it couldn't understand how to categorize something. So you'll see what we call our smart inbox that will not only do things like categorize transactions, but will also link transactions to receipts. It'll match payments to invoices, all sorts of really time-saving features. We think this has been out for about a month right now, and feedback we're getting is really positive in terms of just the amount of automation that's built in here. So just before again launching into a product demo, we're going to cover just some basics. What we've got is what's called the smart inbox. The idea is you connect your bank accounts, credit card accounts, those on a daily basis. Those come into Kashoo, those transactions automatically, and they get categorized and posted. And what's left in the inbox is basically transactions that Kashoo doesn't have enough history or confidence to say this is a meals and entertainment or a travel expense or an office expense. So we'll take a look at that in the demo. You can also do things like quickly snap a picture of a receipt on your phone, and it goes into your inbox. And when a matching transaction comes in from your bank, it'll match those things together. So very, very simple. The core of all of this is Kashoo learns about your business. So the more that you use Kashoo, and every time you categorize an expense or recategorize an expense or a new customer comes into the system, Kashoo learns all about that. So the more you use it, the smarter it gets, the less manual data entry that you have to do. The other thing that's really nice about this is not only are we dealing with expenses that are coming in and categorizing those, but also things like invoices and payments. So when you send out an invoice to a customer and it's remaining unpaid, when that payment comes in through your merchant account or your bank account, we match that payment up to that invoice automatically, shows as paid. So you don't have to do all of that. So in a sense, your accounts are, for the most part, always reconciled, and the things that aren't reconciled are still sitting in your inbox waiting for corresponding transactions or waiting for you to review them and take action on that. In addition to all the nice categorization to give you complete and accurate books, one of the pieces of feedback we got was just better reporting, the ability to save custom reports, use graphs and charts, do comparisons. So we're going to go in and show you kind of the all new reporting within Kashoo. And the thing that we're most excited about is really these clean, simple reports, but also the ability to be able to save those reports and go back and refer to them at any time. So really excited about all of the capabilities there. And then last but not least, if you're setting up a new business, we can get you up and running in less than 10 minutes. And Donna's going to go in and start a business from scratch and show you how you can take multiple months of transactions, import them, and really easily get that set up within Kashoo. So that being said, enough of me talking. Let me turn it over to Donna here, and we can start the demos. So I'm just going to hand control over to Donna.
Great, thank you, Jim.
Great.
I believe I'm showing the right screen here. So welcome everybody. As Jim said, I'm going to go ahead and take you through a demonstration of the product, and we're going to start out with the setup of a brand new account. And as Jim said, we can get this done in under 10 minutes. It's a really quick and easy process to get your business set up and you going right away. So here's the screen that we have that we use to set up your business. We need to, gather some information: your business name, where you're located, your currency, and then very important is your transaction start date. As Jim was saying, we're not going to let your, if you have a current account, we're not going to let that go, but you would want to pick a date and time in which you want to start using new Kashoo if you're switching, or the date and time that you want to just start using Kashoo. So when you pick your transaction start date, if you want to go back and backfill all the way to 2019, make sure you pick that date. If you pick this year, your data will be limited from January 1st of this year moving forward. So it is an important step to make sure you get the right date. We want you to pick the type of business and industry that is appropriate for your business, because what Kashoo is also doing is optimizing, along with our machine learning, we're optimizing your chart of accounts for the industry and business that you have. We're trying to take all of the messy hard work out so you don't have to do it. So here, the next step is simply to connect to your bank. Let me pick the right bank here. Now I'm going to be pulling in 3 months of data from this test bank account, and we're going to show you what the system looks like when you go through this process. If you have multiple accounts at a given financial institution, you have the option to not import all of those. Here I'm going to go ahead and import all. I have 2 checking accounts and 1 Visa, 1 credit card account with this bank. You could add another bank account here, but no worries if you don't add it during the setup process, because you can always come back and add additional banks as you go. So it'll take just a moment to pull all the transactions, and then we will land right inside the smart inbox that Jim was talking about. And you'll see all the transactions from your account. Now, Kashoo is really geared towards, excuse me, no manual data entry, which is why connecting your banks is such a critical step. And because we connect to your bank, we have the source of truth of all your transactions. So that means you don't have to do any reconciling between your accounts, because we are already connected to your account and we can reconcile transactions between accounts. So here we've landed in the smart inbox, and let's go over a bit of the lay of the land, so to speak. So here at the top of the inbox, you're going to see all the accounts to which we connected and their current balances as provided by your bank. You'll notice this green checkbox under each account that lets you know that you're connected and data is flowing and everything's okay. If you needed to connect another bank, you could just click on this here and connect another bank at that time. Or if you missed connecting one of the particular accounts in your bank, you can also go back and connect it. On the left-hand side, we have our basic navigation. Again, we're just with one click away from the information you need, as well as any business functions that you need. For example, creating invoices or setting up bills, checking out your contacts, etc. Now let's come back to the inbox and what we're seeing here. As Jim mentioned, we use machine learning to categorize all the transactions that are coming in from your bank. There's a couple that we're not able to categorize, but as we go through and use Kashoo, each time you provide a category for us that we might have missed, right there Kashoo is learning, and the next time you see something come in from, say, Apple Services here, we're going to remember that that was a professional dues or membership license. We give you lots of tools in here to get through your review very quick and easy. First thing you'll notice, I can sort by date. So you'll notice I have pulled in transactions all the way back to November 2019. If your bank provides data for 12 months, we will actually pull that in. So a lot of banks now are providing what we call 365. This particular example only has 3 months worth of data, but many banks now will allow us to pull 12 months in. And if they do, we'll pull it all in, so you don't really have to do much backfill. So I can sort as I need. I can sort by category, by description. I can filter by a particular account if I want to just zoom into one of my accounts. And I can even search for a specific transaction if I'm really looking to see if a particular transaction came through. Let me clear that out. Now I'm going to go ahead and go through some of the categorization and let you know what I'm finding here. Transfer to credit card, you'll see this match found. What is this about? This is the reconciliation we're doing in real time. I've noticed here that you had a transfer from your checking to your credit card that is appropriate, and I can match it. Now that's a match that Kashoo found for you. You can review it if you'd like and post it the way I just did, which clears it out of your inbox, or you can let Kashoo do it for you. As you'll see here, here's a couple of other matches. I'll go ahead and let Kashoo auto match those when I clear everything out. We've left in place inline editing because a lot of people still do very well with just flying through inline editing. You'll see here, it's very easy to do. This is a rent expense. For each item that I've gotten a category for, you'll notice this blue checkbox here. That means it's ready to be posted. The majority of these items that came through from the bank were already ready to be posted. So now I can go ahead and select all the ones that are ready and post the whole group at one time. In addition to being able to post all of these transactions at one time and clear them from the inbox, I can also edit multiple transactions at one time. So let's take, for example, the Lyft travel and expense. Well, I only have one left now because I posted so many of them. Let's see if there's another one. I can just pick a couple items for an example. So if I want to pick these two items that are sales income, you'll see the edit icon pops up, and I can edit these to be other income if I'd like and apply that, and I post them together. I could, of course, post the entire set of transactions here, but I just wanted to edit those two together. So we have bulk editing and bulk posting, so you can get through the majority of your transactions quite quickly. Let's see. There's just a couple here that don't have items to be posted, but I'm going to leave them in there for right now, because what I want to do now is show you where did all the transactions go that I just cleared from my inbox. They come over here to the transactions tab. These are all the items that have already been reviewed, and we will have the ability to auto post. So here I'm doing a manual review, but you'll be able to turn on auto post, and based on the rules and the machine learning, you'll have confidence that Kashoo is actually auto posting these right to your ledger for you with a lot of confidence. But here is where those exist, and of course you can add additional manual expenses and incomes, etc., for those things that might not be connected to a bank account. But more importantly, all that data that you've posted comes right through in your dashboard. So you have real-time view into the state of your business. at all times. And we had 2019 data in here too, so we can go back a year. You can switch between years. And we keep your account balances as well. I haven't posted any expenses yet, so that graph is not filled out. But whenever you come into Kashoo, all the data here is reflected for everything that you've cleared out of your inbox. Now I have some invoices that I'd like to show, so I'm going to skip over to an account that I already put some invoices in. Now we were talking about matches found. We can find matches between accounts that you have, but we can also find matches for invoices that you've written. You'll see here I have a match for this mobile deposit of $1,500. If I click on it here, I'll see that it's matched it to an invoice that I had for Jim Portman. So I can see it from this view. I can also come over to invoices, where I have a couple of invoices that I've created. One is due, one is paid, and one is overdue. So let's see. This is the invoice that I saw the payment come in from the bank. So I can clear this from here, and I can just match that payment. It marks your invoice as paid, and then is immediately reflected in your reports. When I come back to my inbox now, that particular payment will be gone because I was able to match it from the invoice side. But I can also match it from this side too if I wanted to do it manually. Or if I wanted to bulk match it, it would get posted and applied to your invoice automatically as well. There's a couple other matching examples I'd like to show. We talked about the ability to upload or import receipts. So here I'm dragging and dropping a receipt right over top of the inbox. And we use OCR, which will automatically read the image of your receipt. And you'll see that it automatically matched this receipt I have to a transaction that it found from the bank. So it's nice to see the receipt. So we used OCR to scan and pull the data out of this. And it immediately found the corresponding match to your bank account that you used a Visa card to pay that. And so I can go ahead and match that and send it out. Another type of item you can use is, here I have a Barnes & Noble receipt as well. And if I pull this one in, and I could have drug all of those at the same time. You don't have to do one at a time. I can drag a whole group of 20 receipts and plop them in the inbox, and they'll all be scanned and create matches if there are any matches. But if there is no match, you can also use that to create cash transactions. So again, you don't have to do data entry. If you just use the cash in your wallet to get a coffee at Starbucks while you're on a business trip, you just put that receipt in here. It's going to create a transaction. So instead of matching it, you just post that transaction. You've just automatically created it. There's no data input needed. So we make sure we take a lot of those places where you can have typing errors, et cetera, out of the way. Another place our automation is seen through the inbox. I'm going to pop over here to contacts. I had no contacts in this account until I started matching. Until I started clearing items from my inbox. And with each item you clear in your inbox, we're going through and creating your contact list for you. So you don't need to do that either. So we're automating this whole process. Here I've clicked on my contact for Jim Portman, and you'll see all of his transactions. For any of these contacts, you will see all the transactions that are related to that contact. If it's a contact that has both expenses that you pay this contact, as well as a contact that you might be sending invoices. If you have one that's combined, you do business with them and you buy things from them, you'll see both sets of transactions and a summary of your transactions with that contact in one view. Another item that's going on behind the scenes that I want you to see, your chart of accounts, or all accounts really, for your business. Here we've grouped your accounts into standard groups, asset and banks and liabilities and credits. You'll notice that the bank accounts that we have connected have this little icon. So that lets you know that it's a connected account. So if you're looking at this account from the inbox or here, you always know if it's connected and what the current status is. So it's a nice way to just jump into the account and see all the transactions you have with that account. Now, because we're creating the chart of accounts on your behalf, we do that so we can optimize your tax reporting to the CRA if you're in Canada or the IRS if you're in the US. So we have already mapped each of these expense accounts and income accounts to the appropriate tax collection entity that it needs to be connected to, or associated with, I should say. So if you have an expense and you need a little bit more detail on your expense, say for contractor expenses, you don't want to dump everything into contractor expense. You can actually create a sub-account here. If you want to have a separate account to handle maybe a contractor that you do a lot of work with, or you could put two in here. But what this does for you is takes away the issue of wondering, how does this need to be applied to my taxes? Since contractor expenses are already being handled by Kashoo to be mapped to the correct tax entity, so will every sub-account that goes under contractor expense. So that's a nice handy way that we help you not make mistakes in how to set up your overall business. The same with income. If you want to break up your sales income into maybe income for products versus income for services, spelling, you can have sub-accounts under your sales income. And now all of these sub-accounts are also pulled right through into your reports. And as Jim was speaking about reports, we have the ability now to let you save reports in various formats so you have them at your disposal. Say I don't like the default view being yearly, I want it to be quarterly, and I actually don't want to compare it to any previous periods. I can save this report as my quarterly view. And that will show up under my custom reports. And you can delete and remove these reports as needed. We also allow you to export the reports. Right now we're exporting into PDF. We'll be adding additional formats for those who will want this in a spreadsheet form, etc. But right now you can export each of these reports. Okay, so let's go back to the chart of accounts, and you'll see the accounts to which we have bank connections. Now there might be a bank, a credit union, or something that does not allow you to connect. So we can still add accounts that are bank accounts. We can add them straight from a bank file. So if you go to your bank and you download the transaction file that you can get from your bank, and hopefully you have a bank that allows you to do 12 months at a time. Not all of them do, but that's ideal. And then you can just drag and drop your bank file right on top of the upload screen. You'll see here that we give you a little bit of a summary about what's in that file, the date range, how many transactions, withdrawals, and deposits. That's a nice double check to make sure you're putting the right bank file to the right account, and then I can upload that. Now, when I finish uploading these 13 transactions in this bank that is not connected, I can pop over to the inbox, and I will see all of the transactions that came in from that file upload. So this is the BOFA account. Just apply that. And so you can see here the transactions that came in from the BOFA account. Now, because this was a file upload, we don't automatically categorize those as we do with the bank feed. So it is very important to, wherever you can connect your bank feed, that's the best way to do it. Now, we will still use our machine learning so that when we recognize items that are coming in from the bank feed and you categorize them, the next time we see that, we will be able to categorize it. But it's a little bit more of a learning process for us when it's not coming directly from the bank feed. And let me go into backfilling too. You'll notice here I have this business checking account that is connected, but maybe it didn't go all the way back as far back as I wanted it to go. I can add a transaction file here as well, and it lets me know when I've started my bank feed. I cannot upload transactions that are after that date, because the bank is your source of truth, and we will not let you overlap transactions in a file over top of the actual transactions we got directly from your bank. Same concept, you drag and drop your bank file right here, and then we will backfill all the data that perhaps didn't come in from your bank feed if your bank only allows 3 months back, etc. And that concludes the demonstration of the product. Now we have lots of things right around the corner because, as Jim said, we wanted to release to make sure we got this new product out in time for everybody during tax season who needs to gather all their data. You can actually connect to your banks, get 12 months of data in and review it, and probably, if you have about 500 total transactions for the year, you can probably get through it in about an hour and be ready for tax time to hand off to your accountant. So we really want to make that ability available for those who needed it. For those that need the extra features, we are working very fast to come out with all the features that are not in yet to get up to parity. The very next item that you'll be seeing is some enhancements to the invoices, where we'll be allowing the ability to have your customers pay by credit card as we do in our current version as well. So that'll be coming out in the next month or so.
And the new invoices look fantastic. Big improvement over what we're doing. So I think everyone's going to be really excited to see the new functionality in invoices. What about bills to pay?
Bills to pay. Bills to pay will, right now we have coming soon a placeholder for that because we did want to make people aware that it is on the roadmap and coming out shortly. Bills to pay will operate very much like invoices in how we have your mini report at the top and let you know the state of all the bills you have to pay. But in addition to that, we will be working with the banks to pull in any bills to pay that you have set up with your banking institutions. Those can be pulled in as well. But you can also manually input bills to pay just like you can manually input your invoices.
Great. All right, well, let's take some questions now. And Tam, you can maybe jump in here and moderate and go through some of the questions that we've got.
Sure, Jim. So we've got quite a few questions coming in right now. I've got one here from Jessica, and she was asking, since her bank is not on the bank feeds list, what can she do about importing her transactions?
That is a great question. So you can still get your bank data in without having to do data entry, but it will require that you download the transaction file from your bank and then upload it. So here's the BOFA file that I just set up. And each month you want to come in and just upload that month's transaction file. Those transactions will go into the inbox and then you can clear them out and they will be posted here and then incorporated in all of your reports on the dashboard, etc. If you don't need to do your bookkeeping accounting every month, then you could wait each quarter and upload a quarter's worth of transactions for those folks. And we know you're out there, the ones who do it once a year. You could also upload it once a year as well. But for the person who wants to see it continually, you will upload that transaction file that you download from your bank each month.
All right, thanks for that, Donna. And I'm just going to look at another question here. Someone's just asking, why Kashoo over QuickBooks?
Oh, that is a great question. So QuickBooks obviously is established leader in the category of small business accounting. I think the person we targeted Kashoo at is someone who is not familiar with bookkeeping or accounting and may in fact have a smaller business and wants to do the books themselves. So rather than pay a bookkeeper or try and learn QuickBooks online, you need something really simple that you could use, and so much of Kashoo is automated. So Kashoo is definitely not for everyone, but for the small to micro business owner who is looking for something that's really easy to use, takes away most of the manual side of bookkeeping, and is great at simple invoicing, managing your cash flow, and most importantly, just being ready for tax time every year.
Right.
So,
and to add to that, Jim was saying is we've taken the concept of basically less is more. Now, QuickBooks is geared towards an accountant who might need to set up a very complex set of books, so it has every bell and every whistle that you might need. A lot of business owners don't need all of the additional features that QuickBooks provides, and we're able to provide an easy way to set up your business where you know that we're taking care of some of those larger business questions of how should I set it up, what should my accounts be. We're taking all that decision making out for you so you don't have to do it, and Kashoo will set you up for success so you have less chances in a more complex accounting package to actually shoot yourself in the foot by setting up something inappropriately.
Yeah, this version is all about complete and accurate books with as little effort on the part of the business owner as possible. The old version of Kashoo, as we were calling it Kashoo Classic, is not going away. We're not going to give you till the end of the year to get everything transferred over or anything like that. If you like using that, you can continue to use that as long as you want to.
Very good question about the mobile app. Can you access both versions from your mobile? We are working on that right now. So shortly you will be able to, on iOS, be able to view both a classic Kashoo account that you've been working in, as well as view the new Kashoo account that you may set up.
Yes, and we are also working on an Android version too, if that question isn't already on the list. All right, with that being said, I think we're at time here, and I just really want to say thank you to everyone who participated today. Thanks for the questions. You can, again, sign up for Kashoo anytime, and Tam and his team would be happy to get you set up. Great, thanks again, everyone, and have a great day.